Hey, everybody. So, we've been talking about going from being a victim to being a survivor, especially in an abusive relationship. And so, I've shared with you guys my own journey of going from being, of what it was like to be in an abusive relationship. And I wanted today to focus more on the surviving part, right? I wanted to talk to you guys about the steps that I took because I think this can really help a lot of people. When I say abusive relationship, I'm talking about all kinds of abuse, right? We're talking about physical abuse, domestic violence. We're talking about emotional abuse, verbal abuse, okay? I know that there are a lot of you out there going through domestic violence right now. I know there's even more of you going through verbal abuse, okay? And so I want to be able to help you to make a move, right? Let me say this. No one deserves to be in an abusive relationship. No one deserves to be in a damaging relationship. I was listening yesterday to Jimmy Evans, who talks about marriage today. And you can look him up on YouTube. And I was so happy to hear him as a pastor of a church with a large following say no one deserves to be in a damaging relationship and that you should leave. Doesn't mean necessarily that you get a divorce, but you gotta leave and get to safety, right? And then you decide what to do after that. So the 3 steps that I took. 1, first of all, I had to open my eyes. I had to stop being blind. And, I've heard people talk about that before. I've heard the Bible talk about how Jesus, cured the blind. And you read those stories and I go, oh, okay, that was a wonderful thing. And that was back then, right? You don't hear miracles like that these days where a person is blind and now suddenly they can see, physically see. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but you don't hear about it. But then I was also reading in the Old Testament about things about becoming sightful, not being blind. And I was like a little confused. And it makes sense because we sometimes are so blind to things right in front of us. We don't see what everyone else can see. And we have to sometimes step back maybe, but we have got to find a way to see what is really going on. We can't make excuses. We can't engage in thinking errors. We can't minimize the situation. We can't be delusional. We have to see the reality of what is going on. And once we see it, step 2 is we then have to face it and accept it. Because we can see it. That doesn't mean we're going to accept it. A good example of this is death. When you see a person has passed away and you see their body, you see it, but there's a part of your brain that don't want to accept it. And that's the way a relationship is. It's the death of a relationship. It's the death of a dream. And so you don't want to face that reality. So number 2 step is that we have to not only just see it in step 1, but we have to accept it in step 2. And guys, that can take a really long time. And unfortunately, no one can really help you accept it. So what do you have to do to accept it? For me, my personal way of accepting it and my way of seeing it was in my children. I saw the way it was affecting them. And that allowed me to see it, like to see what was really going on. And then number 2, to face the reality, because my children started to change and they started to disrespect me, right? And I remember my oldest daughter was only 6 at the time. And she started talking to me a certain way. And I'm like, where in the world she get that from? Who makes her think she can talk to me, her mom, an adult, in this manner? Oh, well, yeah, I was letting her father talk to me that way, so why couldn't she? That's what she was thinking. And so that was my acceptance, that this was real, that what was occurring was real. And then number 3, guys, I had to stop hiding the secret. I was keeping a secret from everybody. No one in my family knew. None of my friends knew. No one knew. And I have to admit, the first person that I told was not a family member. It was not a friend. It was just a neutral, objective person who didn't judge me, didn't say, why have you stayed? Why do you continue to love him? Why? This objective person was just there for me, to listen to me. And that was a huge savior in my life. I mean, literally, that was a savior in my life. And so I want you guys to understand those 3 steps, right? 1, stop being blind. 2, face and accept the reality. And 3, stop hiding the secrets. With those things, you can overcome anything. And I'm not encouraging anyone to get a divorce. I don't want you guys to think that. But I am encouraging you to have a healthy relationship. I just recently posted a blog about healthy relationships from my therapist, Saba. And, we have different blogs and resources on our website as well, guys. So, go back and read some of this. Hey, good morning, Janice. I want you guys to understand that there is help out there, whether it's through us at Gateway to Counseling or through anybody. I don't care who you get help through. Just get help. We do have a lot of resources on our page so that you can read more, learn more, and hopefully overcome. Hey, here's to being a survivor. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.